This is Assassin's Creed Shadows. We're doing a comparison. On the left we have the PlayStation 5 Pro, on the right we have the Nintendo Switch 2. These videos are a ton of work to put together, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So we're going to be showcasing the two side by side in some running, horseback scenarios, and some stills, trying to line up the shots and talk about the technical features that both of these platforms offer when it comes to playing the game. Now with this, we are using the same manual save because of the magic of cross saves or cross progression, so it should have the exact same time of day, literally down to like seconds of lighting and everything like that. Same with weathering and everything. Should be practically the exact same for this particular lineup. Now there are a lot of smaller details here, but I just want to firstly mention that this is the full world. It's got parity for content, it's the full scope, it's the same geometry, it's the same environment, it's the same game, but you can play it either on the high-end Pro console or on your Switch 2, which is something you could take practically anywhere in the world, which is quite exciting. So let's dive in and talk a little bit about the technical details here. So we've been showing off the quality mode, but now we're going to be showing off performance mode versus the Switch's One mode. So there's a lot of variations when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro side of things for Shadows. I chose to focus on the pisser technology for this one, as I do find in this case it does help with the image clarity and quality for sort of the best picture, as to say, for this one, but you do get to toggle as to whether you want to use the regular temporal scaling solution or if you want to use pisser. Totally up to you. And there is also a balanced mode, but I chose to focus on sort of something that was more similar to the Switch or something that gave better frame rate quite a bit compared to the Switch. Alright, let's dive in. So for the fidelity mode, or well, your quality type mode on the Pro, it's 4K, but internally it's like 1600-ish p with pisser, or without, it's about the same for both, and it is targeting 30 FPS. When it comes to the Nintendo Switch version, the game is running at a sort of 1440p dynamic with intense resolution scaling. That seems to be the threshold there. It's using DLSS to achieve this, which I always find to be a better sort of scalar solution. And on top of that, when we talk about the illumination systems in this game, we do find that the PlayStation 5 Pro across its modes does support the ray traced illumination. So that is not present on the Switch 2. It has a baked illumination system similar to low-end PC or the Series S. The Xbox Series S has a similar sort of setup there. Cool, so that's just like the baseline. Most of the video is showing off the performance mode for Shadows on the PlayStation 5 Pro, but I also want to mention there is a balanced mode for the PS5 Pro, like I had just briefly said. That one is essentially a similar thing to the fidelity mode. It's just a 40 FPS option with the VRR, and the Switch 2 does have VRR, but that is still focusing on 30 FPS. Performance mode is 4K, taken from like if you're on the temporal scaling, it's more of a 1080p-ish, whereas if you're using pisser, which is what we're using, it's like slightly around 900p-ish, and it's 60 FPS. So those are your kind of options. Now the Switch 2 version does seem to exhibit some drops. I think you might find some drops on PlayStation in some places, but for the most part it's pretty smooth and solid. But at the end of the day, you do get the full Assassin's Creed experience on the go. I mean, you can definitely look at the Switch version, you can say the visual clarity is dialed down, the illumination is dialed down, there's textures missing, the resolution's lower, there's some little environmental things that are kind of missing, there's some other toned down assets. But the game itself is the full game. When you look out into the distance, when you look out into the world, you see sort of the same draw distance for the most part, unless you're really, really trying to maybe spot a difference. It's that full-scale world, that full-scale adventure. It seems to be similar amounts of environmental things and geometry and things within the world, and it's got all the content parity, and it's got all the feature sets, and it's the same game, but available in something that is a mobile type of unit, which is really genuinely impressive. But it's just really cool to see the stark contrast between sort of the high-end console and sort of, I wouldn't necessarily call it the low end, but you get what I mean. That difference between the two platforms is fascinating. Again, liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well. No commentary, gameplay.
Closer, traveler, closer. The entrance is near. Follow the light.